Hi students, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian. I'm streaming to you from beautiful Victoria here in Canada. I hope that all of you are having a fantastic weekend so far, and I'm glad that you're here with me today learning English and communication for the IELTS exam. Welcome, Fuang. Hi, Sarah. Students, this is an IELTS speaking part 3 class. We will be talking about shopping behavior. Speaking part 3 is the final part of the speaking section. It's connected to speaking part 2. We just did a speaking part 2 class talking about an object that you want to buy. So it's no surprise that speaking part 3 is a related topic on shopping behavior. And this lesson and material, we're presenting it to you by aehelp.com. These are the textbooks and materials we used for our live classes from these websites. gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. These are our websites. We use these websites for these live classes. So to learn effectively, if you are participating regularly in these live classes, I strongly recommend getting these websites premium access. This is aehelp.com here. We will use this website today to talk with our viewers. You can do that for free. But if you'd like to join the premium package, click this big red button that's just right above my head there. It's a one-time payment for lifetime access. We are an IDP affiliate. We're a British Council partner. I'm a British Council agent. We're an IELTS test registration center. I have taken the IELTS exam. I have conducted the IELTS exam. We know what's going on. My degree is in psychology, so I enjoy understanding how we learn, how we think, how we understand examinations, and that's how we create our materials on these websites. You can use the code 9FORME to get a 10% discount on the website. And again, it doesn't cost a lot of money. It's cheap. It's just a one-time payment for lifetime access. For general IELTS, same idea, gieltshelp.com. Click that big red button there. The two websites do work together, especially for the speaking. So again, click that big red button and you're good to go. Students, so speaking part 3 today, if questions come up and some of your questions are not answered in the class, you can always send us an email, whether it's about the class, about English, or about our IELTS products. Send me an email to adrian@aehelp.com. That's my name, at aehelp.com. We have writing and speaking services on the websites. You can get our books from Amazon as well. So lots of help for you. And we just released a new speaking video on YouTube a couple hours ago. It's a really good one. It's like a karaoke where you get to repeat. I put it into the chat. So that's the new video URL. I just tagged it in the chat, so you can check that out. And tomorrow, everybody, tomorrow, keep this in mind, tomorrow at this time, we have a light haul class. Akira says it was cool. Right on, Akira. I'm glad you liked it. That's that video, right? And we have a Light Haul class tomorrow. Light Haul is a new platform. It's kind of like live YouTube, but it's especially for live teaching, so you can video chat. So we'll do a full speaking section tomorrow on Light Haul, and it will be a video chat style class. It'll be super cool, and it'll be fun. So make sure to join that Light Haul class tomorrow. It's free, by the way, which makes it even better, right? Okay, lots of classes tomorrow. Follow our schedules, subscribe to our YouTube channel, get notifications. So 29th going into October, we've got lots of classes. We'll have a Discord class. A lot of people have fun on our Discord classes. That's with our partner IELTS Prep. Okay. All right. So let's get into speaking part 3 a little bit. Speaking part 3 questions, they're questions about the world, about, general population on a specific concept. So right now we are focusing on talking about consumer and shopping behavior. For some students that might be watching, who feel I'm talking quite quickly or some vocabulary is not clear, don't worry about it. Keep watching. You'll get the hang of it. So hang in there. You have to push yourself to develop, right? That's why in these classes, I try to use as close to natural English as possible. I mean, as far as my word choice, speed, intonation, language use. Because that's IELTS. IELTS is not an ESL exam. It's not an English as a second language exam. It's an English proficiency exam. That means it's testing your ability to use English effectively. Native speakers also take IELTS for university and immigration purposes and for work as well. It's not just for non-native speakers. So IELTS examiners are not ESL teachers. They do not slow down their communication. They do not repeat themselves. They do not paraphrase their questions to help you understand them. In fact, they're not allowed to do that. So they're using natural English with you, okay, to test your English level. So let's get into it. Now, speaking part 3, the goal is to answer, explain, give examples with good vocabulary, good connection between ideas, and good connection to part 2. Okay. So everybody who was in the last class remembers what we talked about. What was the item that we wanted to buy? So part 2, just to kind of to help you with part 3 here. So part 2, what was the example that I gave you in class for an object that you want to won't want to buy? Okay. What was that object? Yeah, Harriet Banda was in the class. Awesome, you were watching. iPhone 14 Max, that's right. Yeah, we talked about the iPhone 14, why we want to buy it, how we're going to use it, what it looks like, where we can get it from, right? So we gave lots of information about the iPhone 14, and we had some volunteers practice their part 2 in that class as well from our members. It's one of the perks of being a member is you have those members chat classes where you get to volunteer. So becoming a member is a good idea. What did some of our members talk about? Yeah, Sarah, you're right. We are all in the same boat when it comes to the IELTS. We're all just people communicating in English. That's right. Niyashi says we talked about a piano, air conditioner, shoes, and perfume. Very good, Niyashi. You were paying attention. Good for you, Niyashi. I will be looking for you in the chat today if you want to volunteer. Very nice. Yeah, so a very important tip is remember your ideas and your notes from part 2 for part 3. Okay, it is very, very smart to use your ideas and planning from part 2 in part 3 also. Okay, so use those ideas. All right. Okay, nice. So let's get into some part 3 questions. All right. So the examiner says that is the end of part 1. We will now continue, part 1. That is the end of part 2. Now we will continue with part 3. Let's talk about consumer and shopping behavior. What are common items that people often wish to buy? Give me a nice full sentence answer for this. So what are common items that people often wish to buy? Use the question in your answers. Okay, so So several objects that are popular among consumers include digital gadgets like the iPhone 14 or a new laptop or TV, as well as some big ticket items such as a new car or new house. People want these because they make life more comfortable and enjoyable. Everyone wishes to have a big house with a swimming pool. Okay, so answer, explain, example, connection. Big ticket items. It's an expression that means expensive items. Okay, big ticket items, expensive items. Okay. Let's see what you have. Anahita. Anahita says people often desire to purchase a couple of products. Not matters, Anahita. Matters a bit strange. Products. Okay. First, the newest version of iPhone, and second, brandy clothes. Not brandy clothes, but brand clothes. Because, spell it out, they want to look elegant, luxurious, and trendy. Moreover, they don't want to lag behind in trends, yeah, or popularity. Lag behind, how? How do you mean lag behind? Lag behind means to fall behind, to be in the past, but you still have to be clear on what you mean by that, okay, Anahita? So it's pretty good, okay? It's pretty good. Yeah, it works. Okay. Paula says, take one more. Paula says, phones, tablets, laptops are the most common products that people tend to purchase as we are in the era of advanced technology. You can even simplify that, Paula. You can say as we are in the technological. You can use it as an adjective. Technological era, or era of advanced technology, is fine. We aspire to be early adopters. Nice language there. If you study consumer behavior, you know exactly what that means. Early adopters. So we usually buy newly launched items like the iPhone 14. We can connect here to our part 2, Pro Max. Sure. So make that connection, Paula. It'll be even better. Good. Early adopters are people who are the first to buy new products and try them out. Okay. It actually only makes up about 15% of consumers, but yeah, it's good vocabulary. Okay. All right. Nice. And there are lots more answers. Akira says there are several common items people buy due to their needs. Such as digital gadgets, appliances, books, perfumes, which are useful and make life better. Not conditions better, Akira, but life. Make life better. Okay. Anahita says, check my second comment. I don't see it, Anahita, but I'm sure it's good. Okay. Slow sunset vibes. Good to see you. I don't think I've seen you in a while. So Sunset Vibe says, with the rise of technology, I speculate that people are zealous to buy items such as new smartphones, laptops, and technology in general. The reason for this is that people like to have the most recent modern items, even if the previous version was in pristine condition. Yeah, good, Sunset Vibes. Concise. So notice how I took out some unnecessary words and I still ended up with the same information. So be concise. That's really good. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next question. There are several kinds of devices that people feel need to be upgraded regularly. Can you think of any? Okay, give me a nice full sentence answer for this one. Definitely. I know that people are really zealous. I think Sunset Vibes used this word, so I'm going to teach it to you. Zealous. Spelt Z-E-A-L-O-U-S. So I know that people are really zealous to upgrade not only their phones, but also their computers and TVs. The reason for this is so that they can use the latest software, which gives people a competitive advantage in work and play. I mean that the most modern computers can run advanced versions of Photoshop or Premiere Elements to edit videos and pictures, as where previous hardware is not able to do so. Okay, so again, just thinking of some specific ideas, right? And keeping our minds clear. Why are we upgrading? I mean, yeah, sure, we upgrade to look like we're, we're up with the most recent trends. But also, at the end of the day, we're upgrading because a lot of times our old hardware is not able to use the latest software, the highest quality video. So there are, lots of specific answers that we can use here. So again, now this is speaking, everybody. So I want you to speak and repeat. Okay, speak and repeat. So copy what I say and copy how I say it. Okay. Also copy questions. There are several kinds of devices that people feel need to be upgraded regularly. Can you think of any? Definitely. I know that people are really zealous to upgrade not only their phones, but also their computers and TVs. The reason for this is so they can use the latest software, which gives them a competitive edge in work and play. I mean that the most modern computers can run advanced versions of Photoshop, Premiere Elements to edit videos, pictures, as where previous hardware can't do that. Okay, cool. So I hope you're repeating. Repetition is a good way to learn. You want to write down new vocabulary, write down new definitions. By the way, in our newest speaking videos that you see on the YouTube channel, you will also see vocabulary lists, everybody. So when you check out that video that we just uploaded this morning, you'll see a list of like 10, 12 new words that you can learn. Okay, so Fuang says, I'm repeating, sir. I knew you were doing it, Fuang. I could feel it. That's great. That's awesome. Okay, Dhruvraj, let's see what you've got. Dhruvraj says, yes, as I said just now, cell phones and laptops are among the most common electronic items to get up to date with the tech world. It could be because of academic and office requirements. Dhruvraj, that's great. What do you mean, requirements? In most offices, people are running Windows 10. And this needs a good CPU and lots of memory. So computers must be up to date. Okay, give an example. Now, you know, sometimes students say, well, if I give a personal example, the examiner stops me. So don't give a personal example. Give a general example, but still give a specific example, right? So Dhruvraj, you could say, yes, as I said just now, cell phones and laptops are among the most common electronic items to be up to date or to get updated with the tech world. It also could be because of academic or office requirements. In most offices, people are running Windows 10. This needs a good CPU and lots of memory. So the computer must be up to date. Yeah, a bit of repetition. You take that out. Be concise. Even better. There we go. All right, next question. When is a good time to make upgrades to such technologies, and why is this? Give me a nice full sentence for that one. You guys are doing a great job, guys and girls. Fantastic. I'm seeing lots and lots of really nice answers. That makes me feel good. It makes me feel like there are lots of people who are watching these classes, and you're not just improving your English, but you're improving your communication skills. It means that you're speaking with powerful, clear information, thinking about the question and your audience rather than thinking about necessarily what you want to say or just saying whatever comes to mind, right? So lovely to see that evolution in your learning and communication. That is fantastic. Okay, so when is a good time to make upgrades to such technologies? Okay. Anahita, quick to answer, and that's good. It's great to practice quick thinking. Anahita says, it is approximately perfect. Let's change that a little bit, Anahita. A perfect time. It's more natural. A perfect time to purchase them is when, you have a missing be verb there, is when people get their salaries, because you have money. People get their salaries since so they do not need to beg or borrow money, right? To beg or borrow money from friends and family. I'm not sure what you mean by others will give them taunts, so we'll take that out. Okay. Good. I like it. It's a short answer, but it works, Anahita. So a perfect time to purchase them is when people get their salaries, so they do not need to beg or borrow money from their friends or family. This way, they avoid going into debt. Okay, nice. Fuang, let's see what you have for us. Fuang says, a perfect time to make upgrades to such devices is now. I mean, these devices need to be upgraded to have more function and more diversity than other products, so that will bring revenue for businesses. Sure. That will bring revenue for the individual because they can be more efficient. Upgrading a computer and using the latest video editing software, a vlogger can make more money. Right? There's an example. Fuang, you're on the right track. I love how you adapted the vocabulary right away. A perfect time to make upgrades. Students, repeat these sentences. So, a perfect time to make upgrades to such devices is now. Yeah, there's even an expression. There's no time like the present. I mean, these devices need to be upgraded to have more function and more diversity than other products. So that will bring revenue for individuals because they can be more efficient. Upgrading a computer using the latest video editing software, a blogger can make more money. Vlogger. All right, you're on the right track. Great. I love it. Your thinking is clear. You're connecting ideas. That means that you are ready to volunteer. So to volunteer, this is what you want to do. I'm going to copy this into the chat for everybody. Our moderator, Carolina's on vacation for a while, so she would be doing this, but I am doing this now. So go to aehelp.com, go to our website, create an account. You can create a free account. If you like these live classes, if you like what you see, buy the full account. It really doesn't cost a lot of money, and it's a one-time payment. We don't charge you money every month. It's just one time. You can use it forever. And then go to Student Partner Speaking. Make sure that your microphone and your speakers are working in your browser. You will see me in one moment as master. That will be my name. You will see me in a blue envelope, and click on that and just then type, I want to volunteer. Okay, and I will be there and I will choose people to answer some questions. I will help you correct your English a bit. I will give you tips on what to focus on for improving your language skills and your communication to get those higher band scores. So let's jump into it. This is general IELTS help at gieltshelp.com. Right now we're using aehelp.com. Okay, so this is aehelp.com. And then you can join by clicking the big red button to get the premium package. And you can also try it for free by clicking the green button that's right behind my chair there. Once you have an account, you will log in automatically, hopefully, and then you will see lots of useful tools, computer-based practice exams, an interactive course, practice exam books that you can print out, lesson videos, audio CDs, and you will see also these cool functions that are right behind me and above me here. Help for writing, and also student partner speaking. That's what we're using right now. Okay, you can even register for your real IELTS exam with this red button. If you see it, if you don't see it, it means it's not available in your country. That's the home IELTS exam where you can do it from home. It's available, I think, in about 10 different countries, but not every country. Right now, so student partner speaking, okay, we're using that one, student partner speaking. that blue one right there. Okay, so click on that. If you have headphones or a headset, definitely use it. Try to make sure you have a good internet connection. Test it with somebody else. Accept the terms. It means that you will be polite when you're using this service. You're going to use this for IELTS, and that's your focus and your legal age. You're allowed to use it. And then you will see all of these wonderful people in here. So we can see that Sarah, Vivek, Paula, Sanantha, Mark, Vishal, Mazad, Orlando, Jao, Dilip are all in here ready to learn. And you will see me as master. Okay, so you'll see a name that'll just be master. It's easy to see. Click on it, say I want to speak or I want to volunteer, and then I will choose some people and we'll talk. Okay? All right. So let's reach out to some of our students. I think Joao was the first out of the box right now. So Joao, are you ready? And remember to mute YouTube when you start speaking with me, students. So when you pick up the phone, okay? So Joao, here we go.
Hello, Adrian.
Hi, Joao. How are you?
Yeah, I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. I'm getting better. I caught a cold, but now I'm on the mend. Joao, where are you calling from?
From Portugal.
From Portugal. And you volunteered before in the past, which is great.
Yeah.
How are your studies going?
So I think the last time we spoke, I think it was before my CAE exam, the Cambridge one, the C1.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken the exam. Since then, I've gotten 198 from 210. I think it's a B+. And next week, I'm going to start my CPE classes to study for and prepare for the C2.
Impressive, Joao. That's good. Absolutely. 198 out of 210. I mean, that's a score to be proud of.
Yeah.
Good for you. Congrats. All right. And have you found these classes useful for your performance?
Yeah, definitely. Especially the speaking, since the reading and use of English, it's quite different from the IELTS one. But the speaking part, definitely, yeah.
Awesome. Happy to hear it. Okay, Joao, well, let's go through a few speaking part 3 questions. Give me some nice full sentence answers. Remember to include explanations, examples when possible, and remember to be specific. Use the question in your answer if possible, okay?
Okay.
All right, so do you have a question?
Yeah, I've already answered the questions in the chat, but I'll try to rephrase it so it's a bit different.
Sure, yeah. It's actually a very good idea to repeat the same question conceptually so that you can upgrade your communication. I'm also doing that all the time where I look at my answers and then I think, okay, how can I make that even better? What can I change in my vocabulary and my grammar? So it's a really good way to approach your learning. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
IELTS speaking part 3. Let's talk about consumer and shopping behavior. What are the most common items that people often wish to buy?
With the rise of technology, I would say that people are really keen about buying new items such as smartphones, laptops, or in general technology gadgets. And I think the reason for this is people enjoy having the most recent and state-of-the-art items, even if the last item isn't obsolete at all and it's still usable.
There are several kinds of devices that people feel need to be upgraded regularly. Can you think of any?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So devices such as smartphones, as I mentioned previously, since they are constantly changing and new models are coming out regularly. Other than that, I think house utilities such as a fridge, or a washing machine. So in general, technological items that become obsolete quite quickly.
When is a good time to make upgrades to such technologies, and why is this?
Yeah, I think the a good time to make these upgrades is definitely when the items are no longer usable, or you're trying to make use of a functionality that's not incorporated in the device that you currently have. So as soon as your item becomes unusable, in the sense that it doesn't fulfill your needs anymore, or um, or you just need a new functionality, or maybe you need a faster computer, or in general a faster device.
Okay, good. I will stop there. All right, let me give you some feedback. So first of all, Joao, very nice English. Absolutely. You're focused, you're confident, you're thorough, you're thinking carefully about what you're saying. So overall, very good. I would definitely say on the IELTS you would score 8.5. Maybe some examiners would say 8, close to a 9 even. Okay, so you're definitely in the 8 to 9 range without question. There are always steps that we can take to improve our communication. The best communicators can improve. There's no such thing as the ultimate communicator because it also depends on our audience. Let me give you a little bit of specifics on where you can improve. So when you have your level of English, okay, then there aren't too many places left to kind of pick at for what you can do. Like your pronunciation's a 9. You don't really have to pronounce the words any better than you already do, because I can understand every word that you're saying. If you really wanted to, you could try to copy, some British type of speaking or some English, but it's not necessary. Your grammar is quite good. There are very, very few places where you make mistakes with word form, for example. Like in the beginning, when I said, what are common items that people often wish to buy? You said, so with the rise of technology, people are really keen on. Very nice language there. And then you said, buy new technology gadgets. It's technological.
Yes.
So technological gadgets. So that was a bit off in the word form that you used, but that was just a tiny mistake.
And I think in general, a gadget is already implied that's a technological item, right? So I don't need it to repeat.
Exactly. So it would be less common for someone to say technological gadgets. Most people just say gadgets. Exactly. And so you made a mistake with the word form, and it's not necessarily natural, but it's not a big mistake. It's not a big mistake. And again, that's the difference between an 8.5 and a 9. It's just very small differences. And of course, then, so aside from choosing the best vocabulary, it's also about choosing the best content. So when you're going for that band 9 or that C2 in the Cambridge, what you're going for, you're really focusing on best vocabulary and best content. Okay, and the two kind of go hand in hand. Let me get to another question here, and then I can give you another example of this. So here, when I asked you, when is a good time to make upgrades to such technologies, and why is this? You said, I think a good time is okay. Most natural would be best time.
Yeah, I think the best time,
I think the best time to make these upgrades is when these items are no longer usable. What is the high level vocabulary for an item that is no longer usable? One word.
Useless?
No, that's not. That would not be considered a high level vocabulary. Let me give you a hand, Joao, before you take a peek at the chat, because I'm sure somebody will try to give you a hand here. It starts with an O. Second letter's a B.
Yeah, an obsolete item, right?
Obsolete.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I said it.
Maybe I might have just missed it, right? But as an example, regardless, that's the kind of language that you're going for. So I think the best time to make these upgrades is when these items become obsolete. Okay. And then right away I'm like, oh, okay, impressive. You know the word for that. And now you can even really impress the examiner if you remember content like many items, in fact, have planned obsolescence. Have you ever heard of that?
No, it's my first time hearing it.
Planned obsolescence is a collocation that most people know of, but they just don't know maybe the term in English. Planned obsolescence means that the product is literally designed to break. So notice how like smartphones, mobile phones, when you get them, they're amazing and the battery lasts for like 3 days. And it seems like every single mobile phone after 3 years, the battery dies in half a day. It's like suddenly it goes from 3 days to 2 days to half a day, and then it's like, oh, I have to replace it. So it's like as if the engineers are planning for a certain amount of time for the product to eventually fail after. That's called planned obsolescence, and there is this belief that a lot of the products in the world today have this planned obsolescence so that we're forced to upgrade products. Okay?
Yeah. Yes.
Now, this is extreme, right? But when we're going for band 9 is an extreme score. Or C2 in the Cambridge, it's an extreme score. It basically means that you're not just using English, but you are an expert when it comes to information, communication, and language altogether, okay? So it's important to understand that, but it's doable, Joao. It's doable. You can do that, okay? All right. So in a nutshell, Joao, when you're answering these questions, what you said at the beginning that, okay, I will try to rephrase them or I will try to say that again, that's exactly what you should be doing at your level, is repeating the same questions, answers, but just making them better and better and better with better ideas and better vocabulary. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes.
So practice that. So instead of like practicing a million different questions, just choose 50 and keep repeating your answers and making them better and better. Okay?
Okay, Adrian.
All right, Joao. Keep up the good studies.
Thank you, Adrian. Keep up the good work.
Thanks. All right, that was Joao. Give Joao a big thumbs up. Yeah, it's tough. I mean, I think that one of the most challenging parts of IELTS or the Cambridge tests is when you're going for those really high scores, like for people who are going into law or who are going into teaching English or linguistics and need those really high scores like 8.5, 9 or C1, C2. It's very challenging because you're being tested on content and word choice at a very high level. Okay. All right. Let's take somebody else. Okay. We have Paula. I don't think we've spoken to Paula in a while, if at all. Paula, are you ready? Okay. Let's see if Paula is with us today. So Paula, if you're here, let me know and we'll cover a few questions. By the way, volunteers, it doesn't matter if you're a band 4 or a band 9, just volunteer. Practice makes perfect. You have to try. Okay, so if you're like, ooh, I can't do what Joao did, don't worry about it. It's all good. You should always compete with yourself, not with others. Okay, Paula. Hi, Paula. I can hear that you picked up, but I don't hear your voice. Check your mic. Check your connection. Check to see what's going on. Paula, I don't hear you, but that doesn't mean we can't connect. Just try the system with a couple other students. Just send a message, say, hey, can we test what's going on? And check your device, see what kind of browser you're using and so on. Yeah, you said, I think there's a problem with my connection. Okay, Paula. All right. Sarah, you volunteered last class. Let's see if you can make some connections here with the piano. Are you ready? So let's give Sarah a chance. Sarah's one of our members, and she's been a student for a while now, and I want to give her a chance to see if she can connect some of her answers with her part 2. Okay, Sarah.
Hello.
Hi, Sarah. I would ask you how you're doing, but I know that you're having a boring weekend as usual. Right?
Yes, that's so true. Yeah.
You told me. That's your words, not mine, right? From the last class. All right. Well, hopefully we can make it a bit more exciting here with these questions. Sarah, try to connect your answers, okay, to your part 2 answer. Now, just before we get started, Sarah, can you tell all of our viewers what you answered for part 2 about the part 2 cue card, which was talk about an item that you want to buy? Can you tell everybody what that item was?
Yeah, I actually talked about a piano, which is Yamaha piano, and I talked that I want to buy a new one.
Okay. For 183,000 euros, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I know I know there's like some pianos that are even like $1 million. So yeah, I know there's some crazy prices for pianos out there. Okay, Sarah, good. So let's pretend like you just finished that part 2 cue card answer, and then it's really important that you make connections to that, and also remember some of the other items that came up in that part 2 class. So let's talk about consumer and shopping behavior. What are common items that people often wish to buy?
Usually people go after items that it's luxury and trendy. Can I start again? Sorry.
Okay, so the way you do that, Sarah, just keep in mind from previous classes, I'm a bit nervous. Let me start that again.
I'm a bit nervous. Let me start again.
And then just do it. Don't even wait for a response or not. Just do it, okay?
So I'm a bit nervous, so I'm gonna start again. Humans in these days go after luxurious, trendy products, especially technological items like phones, laptops, and iPads, as well as big modern houses, fancy cars. As I mentioned in part 2 recently, I'm desiring a new expensive piano, which cost 183,000 euros.
There are several kinds of devices that people feel need to be upgraded regularly. Can you think of any?
There are several devices that needs to keep upgraded from time to time. However, phones are the most required ones to be sophisticated because we use it all the time. And as we are developing our environment all the time, we have to make our phones follows our needs. I'm looking to buy a new iPhone 14. While I already have a phone in a good condition, but I need a more practical, trendy one.
What will be popular purchases in future years?
People will purchase. I do believe that since we are always trying to be trendy, so technology is gonna keep staying the most purchased in future years, such as phones and just such as phones.
Okay, so let me stop you there, and then let me go over your answers a little bit. First of all, band score. 6.5 to 7. I would be probably leaning closer to a 6.5. Definitely, Sarah, focus a lot on part 3. So when you're practicing for your IELTS, definitely part 3. I think you will do quite well in part 1, part 2, now that you have a really good idea. Pay a lot of attention to part 3, just talking about specific ideas in terms of the general public, okay? And keep your thoughts simple, structured. There are several kinds of devices that people feel the need to be upgraded. Well, actually, let me jump back to the one before that. So what are common items that people often wish to buy? You talked about a piano, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Why do you want to buy a piano? What group of people do you belong to?
Musicians.
Musicians, absolutely. You're a musician, right? You play the piano. Are there many musicians in the world?
I do believe, yeah.
Absolutely. There's lots of there. Music is beautiful and it's in every culture and all people love it. So there's lots of musicians, right? So watch my logic. So these questions that I'm asking you, it's like I'm your internal voice, okay? So I'm the voice inside of your head, okay? Don't think of me as Adrian.
Yeah.
Think of me as Adrian, or think of me as Sarah inside your head, okay? When you're practicing for your IELTS at home, you should stop and ask these little micro questions in your head to develop your thoughts quickly in a structured, strategical way, right? So what was my answer in part 2? Why did I say that? Is that a popular item? Who am I, right? So I'm a musician. There are lots of musicians, right? Do musicians, so focusing on the question, right? Do musicians wish to buy musical instruments frequently?
Yeah, for sure.
Do they upgrade their instruments?
Of course, because they need a better instrument that sounds well.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful. Okay, sure, sounds nice or sounds better. Sure. Also, they get used, right? So eventually musical instruments break or they get worn out. Okay, so instead of trying to force your brain to come up with new ideas, start with an idea that you already have the foundation for. It's always easier to build content on an idea where you have a foundation, where you have the base. And then once you have that, other ideas will come to mind that you can go off onto, like phones or cars or houses and so on, right? But start with the musical instruments. It's a good starting point, okay? So just to kind of put an emphasis on this, Sarah, let me ask you this question one more time and give me an answer based on your part 2, starting with your part 2. So what are common items that people often wish to buy?
There are several items that people usually desire to buy. As musicians, they always want to buy new instruments to help them to provide the best music and to follow their musical needs, such as buying new pianos or guitars from this year.
Perfect. Okay, you're sounding a little bit uncertain, but you're definitely on the right track. Okay, so then you can say also people buy new computers, new houses, new cars. These are some common items, right? So then you can include those other thoughts that come to mind. So don't get too lost in the one idea, but start with that one idea to really provide some good language and good communication. Does that make sense?
It does.
Okay, and then you can practice that for people often upgrade. You can say, oh, musicians often will upgrade their musical instruments for these reasons, and people will often upgrade their computers and their cars for other reasons as well. Okay, so think about that, Sarah, and practice that going forward. Really focus on part 3 because I think that's where you're losing marks for your overall score. Okay?
Actually, I got scared in part 3, like even in my previous IELTS exam. In part 3, it was all about the colors, and I got nervous because I actually used all the colors that came in my mind, and the questions didn't even end. So I stopped talking, and like the examiner, she was asking me more questions, and I stuck, and I didn't talk at all.
Right. So, I'm happy you said that because it's another perfect situation where using the foundation of part two gives you a focus point. So, if part two was about a color that you frequently use in your life, then you can reference that, right? So, whatever part two was about, probably something about colors, then you can connect to that, and that gives you a foundation for starting and stopping. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Sarah, keep up the practice, and then we'll do more in the future. Okay?
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too. Bye, Sarah. All right. So, and hopefully Sarah's weekend gets a little bit more exciting and enjoyable. All right, let's take somebody as well. So remember, part two, this is what I'm telling you, part two, your part two ideas, your part two answer has to be really good, because when your part two answer is really good, you can use it in part three. Okay, Alex, are you ready? Okay, we'll take some more volunteers here. Doing a great job, by the way, everybody. So, and thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. So giving thumbs up and supporting each other, it's really, really important. Okay, really, really important, because that's how we grow and we develop. We want support from each other, and that's how we do it. All right, Alex is ready. Here we go. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Adrian.
Hi, Alex.
Can you hear me?
I can. Alex, can you mute YouTube?
Yes, I've done just that.
Perfect. All right, Alex, can you tell everybody where you are calling from?
Sure. I'm based out of Bangalore, India. So that's where I'm calling you from.
Bangalore.
I'm talking to you from.
Bangalore, India. Awesome. Okay, great. And why are you doing the IELTS exam?
I'm in line to immigrate to Canada. So IELTS being one of the criterias for me to move and increase my scores for my immigration.
Great. Yeah. So you're doing the general IELTS exam, and your goal is as high as possible, so you get more points, right? Because the higher your score, the more points you get. Correct?
Exactly.
Okay. Well, let me help you get the maximum points possible by asking you some questions. So you've been watching, you know what's going on, and the goal is full sentence answers with good explanations, and at times including an example that's smooth and specific. So here we go. Let's talk about people's consumer and shopping behaviors. How have people's shopping habits changed compared to a generation before?
Well, when you compare the current generation with the previous generation, the opportunities to purchase things is a lot more out there than compared to what it was previously with our with the previous generations as such. The previous generations had the opportunity of going to brick and mortar stores to see and choose objects and items that they want to purchase. Whereas in the current generation, we have the luxury of internet and the opportunity of purchasing anything from our devices. That makes shopping a lot more convenient. Also, with the day and age of technology, we have a lot more options, not just within a specific country.
What will be popular purchases in future years?
Well, that's a good question. I think some things that would still remain in trend as people would want to purchase even in the future years would be your mobile devices. When I say mobile devices, I'd include your laptops, your phones, your smart watches, and also clothes and dresses. They would never go out of fashion. And let's not forget footwear.
Many people feel that social media has taken control of people's shopping habits. Do you agree with these, or do you agree with this?
I do, to some extent. And why I agree with this point is because social media, with the invent of social media, you also have a new genre of people stemming out of that particular media as such. They're called as influencers, and they influence a lot of people in what they would like to buy, what they would like to own, and how their lives can influence others as well, and how others would perceive their lives will be based on these influences.
What kinds of strategies are used in social media to influence purchasing activities?
I think the number one strategy that social media applies would be advertisements. A lot of advertisements is one, and secondly, again, with the use of influencers promoting and projecting how each of these products would look on themselves and would also in return look on you. I would definitely say advertisements and social media influencers would be the key strategies in today's world.
Okay, let's stop there. That's good. That was great.
Thanks, Adrian.
All right. So clearly you have a lot of experience with English. I can tell that you've been using English probably all your life, and you use it in your daily life as well, maybe in work, and even with family, friends. So it's clear to me that you have very good English skills. So it's no question that I think you're at a band 8 level, certainly in the IELTS, potentially even higher. And it's kind of like Joao at the beginning there. When you're in that high band level and you're really going for the maximum score possible, it's just small adjustments to content and vocabulary. So the same advice as with Joao at the beginning. You have to go over the same questions and answers several times and continuously refine, revise, restate your answers with better vocabulary and better content. And I didn't tell this to Joao, Alex, but first always think about content. So review content and then review vocabulary. Okay, let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so let's jump back to this question here, because Sarah also answered this question and she missed this part and you missed this part as well. So the question here was, what will be popular purchases in the future? And both you and Sarah focused kind of on what are popular purchases now that will continue to be popular purchases in the future, right? So you talked about smartwatches, phones, clothes that are popular now and will continue to be popular in the future. Sarah said the same. She says trendy technology is going to keep staying popular in the future. And that's okay. So that's fine. But if we're going for that band 9 score, that highest band, and this doesn't mean you have to be a band 9 student. So all of the people who are watching right now and you're like, okay, well, I'm a band 5. This will also help you to move from a band 5 to a band 6. Do think of some quote unquote creative ideas. So popular purchases for the future. Okay. Let me ask you this, Alex. Can you think of 1 or 2 items that will become very popular in the future that are not as popular yet, but we can already kind of see it? We can already see some of these items appearing in society, and we can be like, oh, okay, my friend just got that. Okay, that person just got that. So what are a couple of items? I definitely can picture a few in my head. What are a couple of items that will become popular?
According to me, I think subscription plans to features and options would be something that's going to be more popular in the future. For example, let me give you an example. You have your car seat warmers. BMW now offers them as subscriptions. So you might have the feature built in your car, but to use it, you might need to subscribe to it. So it's one of those purchases that you might have to subscribe.
Bad, Alex, not bad. But you see, I might have to interrupt you just like I'm doing right now because it's too complex, too detailed. Also, avoid the word "you" when you're giving answers. Think of something simpler that we're purchasing, that we see around us. One that comes to mind, for example, for me is electric cars. I believe in the future, most people will buy electric rather than gas-powered vehicles. And we see this, like we see more and more electric cars and less gas powered cars on the road. So there's definitely certain types of emerging technologies that are becoming a lot more advanced and a lot more powerful, right? So you started well by saying that's a good question, which allows you to think, and hopefully, you know, like you'll think, okay, well, what is some technology, right? Okay, electric cars, right? And instead of using some things, that's where you can do a vocabulary replacement. So you can say products or merchandise. Always avoid using things, some things, because they're just not valuable words. So merchandise that will still remain in trend will be mobile devices, smart watches, clothes, and shoes. And emerging products will be more electric cars on the road. As many people can see, there are more and more Teslas driving around each day. Right? And that's another kind of drawback or negative that you had in your responses is you kind of ran out of ideas. So what you did is you started to just repeat the same idea. You did that for a couple other questions as well. Instead of doing that, Alex, go immediately for an example. So just repeat this answer after me, and everybody can repeat this answer so you get this idea. And then I'll show you the example for the next one. So here we go. That's a good question. Merchandise that will still remain in trend will be mobile devices, phones, smartwatches, clothes, and shoes. And emerging products will be more electric cars on the road. As people can see, there are more and more Teslas driving around each day.
Right.
What will be popular purchases in future years?
That's a good question. Merchandises that will still remain in trend will be mobile devices, phones, smart watches, clothes, and shoes. And emerging products will be more electric cars on the road. As many people can see, there are more and more Teslas driving around each day.
Okay, so notice how we didn't change your answer that much. First, I looked at content. So how can I improve the content of what I'm saying? And then I looked at vocabulary. How can I improve the vocabulary? So replacing something with merchandise or emerging products, right? And that's the practice and strategy that will move students who are in band 7 to a band 8, band 8 to a band 9, and even lower as well. So it's good practice for any level, but especially for your level where you're moving from that band 8 to band 9. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay, Alex. And again, more examples, right? So here in the next question, you said that there are a lot of advertisements, and then you went back to advertisements again. Instead of saying that, okay, social media applies lots of advertisements a second time, you should give an example, like iPhone 14 is being advertised all over the internet these days, right? And then that example emphasizes your explanation, okay?
Got it.
Okay, cool. Alex, awesome English. Keep up the good practice, and I'm sure you'll get a really great score on your test. Make sure to share your score when you do the test. I'd love to learn what you got, okay?
I will. I'll get in touch with you on emails to get the test done as well. So let me
the practice exam. Yeah. What you're talking about, let's see if that shows up on the screen here for everybody. Yeah, you can practice it's right there above. So you can click on that button, and then you can book a full IELTS speaking interview with me. Absolutely. That's a really good idea for sure, Alex. Okay. I look forward to speaking with you. Thank you. Bye.
You as well. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay. That was awesome. So that was Alex. Give Alex a thumbs up. That was really good. That was fantastic. Okay. Let me just clean up our chat here a little bit, guys. Yeah, I can see people are like, oh, I miss Carolina. Why isn't she here to clean up? I might add a couple other moderators to the channel as well, so we've got more people helping out, because we can definitely see that there's a bit of Spamishness going on. All right, everybody. Let's take another volunteer here. All right, Marco. Let's see if Marco is still with us here. Marco, are you ready? And again, students, whether you're lower level, higher level, band 4, band 5, band 7, just volunteer. Put yourself out there. It's a great way to gain confidence, test out your English. Nobody's here to judge. And if people make silly comments, just ignore them. Who cares? They're being silly, not you. So Marco, if you are ready, let me know. Give me a sign. Say, yes, I'm still here. I have not left for a sandwich or coffee. We've got a little bit of lag, so I want to give Marco a chance here, a couple seconds. I see Hemant and Shub as well here, waiting to see what happens. Okay. Marco, no answer. No, it's okay. Let's give Hemant a chance. Hemant, are you there? Are you ready? Patience is a virtue, as they say. Hemant, if you're still there, give me a life sign and we'll connect. Give him a 5 count. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. No, Hemant. All right, let's give Shub a chance. Shub, this is I'm ready. Are you ready? Just double checking. Are you ready, Shub? Shub's very quick. Shub's like, yes. No countdown needed. All right. Hi, Manisha.
Hello,
Hi, Manisha. Hi, Shub. How are you?
I'm very good, sir. What about you?
I am doing fantastic. Shub, can you mute YouTube
Yes, sir.
so we don't get the feedback from YouTube?
Yeah.
All right, Shub, where are you calling from?
I am from Gujarat, Vadodara, from India.
From Gujarat. Awesome. I've
Yeah.
had a few amazing students from Gujarat. And how is your weekend so far?
Sorry, sir.
How is your weekend so far?
Yeah, it's a very good weekend. I booked my exam and it's a very crucial weekend for me because it's on Tuesday. My speaking test will on Tuesday.
Okay, so lots of English then until Tuesday, right? Speak English to everybody.
Yes.
Speak English to mom,
Yeah,
speak
yeah.
English to dad, to brother, to sister, to the cat, to the chair, to the TV. English to everybody and everything,
Yeah.
okay?
I am create whole environment of English.
That's awesome. Okay, good to hear. All right, well, let me ask you a few questions for part 3. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then let's talk about consumer and shopping behavior. Many people feel that social media has taken control of people's shopping habits. Do you agree with this?
Yes, I am absolutely agree with this statement because social media tracking our search histories constantly and then show us appropriate product regarding our search histories, and moreover it shows the best deal to individuals who are constantly shopping from social media and other kinds of websites.
What is some good advice for people to follow before they decide to make an expensive purchase?
First of all, individuals have to check the that the product is appropriate or worth buying, and the influencer who influenced them to buy that product is uh, good or not, because if they buy an appropriate product, then it will be not beneficial in long term for them.
Can you give me an example?
Yes, of course. One of my friend bought a smartphone, but few years back, but it's not working as the influencer suggest in the particular video of social media. Yes.
How have people's shopping habits changed compared to a generation before?
I think 2 decades or 3 decades ago, maybe people tend to buy products from offline stores, and they have no options of like online shopping. But nowadays, people tend to buy clothes and smartphones as well as any kind of product from online markets, and there are lots of time consuming because it's very time consuming because people are nowadays double checking in bricks and mortar store as well as online stores.
Okay. And mortar stores as well as online stores. Okay.
Yes.
All right, good. Those are some solid answers. You've got some good ideas. I like how you're thinking quickly and giving some good answers. I would say that was a solid band 6.5, 6.5.
Okay. Yeah.
You've got some really good ideas. You want to kind of smooth your answers and to bring up your answer by a half a band score easily. Just think of a smooth example for your answers that you can include. So you give me a good answer. You often give me a good explanation, but then I'm really missing the example. It's like, oh, what do you mean? Like, what's an example of this? That's why I actually asked you, like, can you give me an example? So let me show you this. So I said, how have people's shopping habits changed? And you said, I think that 2 or 3 decades ago. That was a really nice paraphrase for generation before, because one generation before is 2, 3 decades ago. Very good. Past tense, people tended, not tend to buy, tended, because it's 2, 3 decades ago, right? So I think that 2 or 3 decades ago, people tended to buy products from offline stores, but nowadays, people tend to buy. So watch your verb tense, okay? Buy products from online stores.
I generally mistake this type of mistake made by me.
Yeah,
usually.
So you want to record your speech and then find these and correct them right away. Okay, and then you said it's very time consuming because people are double checking in brick and mortar stores as well as online stores, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of an interesting thing to say. Here you can say people spend hours or days looking at Amazon or in their local phone shop for the best price on iPhone 14s.
I missed one sentence. I was thinking tons of options available nowadays because of globalization and lots of companies opening nowadays.
Too much. You said you had good answers. So your answer, there's nothing wrong with your information. Your information was great. I would just like to hear a little general kind of example like this one that I put in there to make it clear, especially when you tell me something interesting like people are taking a lot of time because they're double checking, right? So let's just do a little repetition, and this is for everybody. So here we go. I'm going to say this answer again and then copy me, Shab, okay? Sure. Here we go. I think that 2 or 3 decades ago, people tended to buy products from offline stores, but nowadays people tend to buy products from online stores. It is very time consuming because people are double checking in brick and mortar stores as well as online. People spend hours or even days looking at Amazon and their local phone store for the best price on iPhones 14s. Go for it.
Absolutely. I think that 2 or 3 decades ago, people tended to buy products from offline stores, but nowadays, people tend to buy products from online stores. It's very time consuming because people are double checking in bricks and mortar stores as well as online stores. People spend hours or days looking at Amazon or their local phone shop for the best price on iPhone 14s.
Okay, good. So you see how that example just like, okay, that's what you're talking about. That's what people now are doing, and they didn't do that before.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
You had some nice language, like that question asked, what is some good advice for people to follow? You said, first of all, people should check and make sure if the product is worth buying. That was really good. So keep up the good studies, watch your grammar, okay, and think
Yes, sir.
about those
Yes.
kind of natural examples that you can stick in at the end, okay, Shub?
Yes, sir. I have to add one or two sentences, just for
Just
example.
just one, and don't
Yeah.
say for example, just give it, right? Like so
Yeah.
many
Yeah.
people are
Yeah. Yeah.
searching for hours for the best price on iPhone 14. Just one quick sentence like that, okay?
Yeah, I already implement this strategy as from your previous video.
Awesome. That's great to hear.
Yes.
Shub, have a fantastic rest of the day. Good luck on your exam on Tuesday. Fingers crossed that you get a great score. It sounds like you're doing all of the right steps to get a nice score, so keep it up.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Bye, Shub. All right. Wish Shub some good luck there for his upcoming exam on Tuesday. All right, everybody. So practice with each other. You can call each other on this page, and there are example questions at the top of the page as well. So you can click on these for practice questions. Okay. That's it for now, but don't forget to sign up for the premium version of this course. It's not expensive. It's worth the upgrade. We've been talking about upgrades. So you can definitely upgrade by clicking this big red button that's just above my head there to get all of the features of the course, all of the videos, practice exams, and improve your English quickly for your next exam. Students General IELTS, gieltshelp.com, green background. Click that big red button. Works on your mobile, works on your laptop. You have an app that you can install for your phone as well. I will be back tomorrow. Students, don't forget tomorrow, okay? Before you run away and say, oh, he's done, he's gone. I'm not gone yet. Just a sec. So tomorrow, Light Hall. We will have a class on Light Hall. Here's the link. Light Hall is a different platform. It's a free class. It's video, audio interaction. Check it out. There it is. That will be a full mock speaking IELTS exam, part 1, part 2, and part 3 with our students. So register for that. Okay, it's absolutely free. And Manisha, on our website, we have videos for strategies, for listening, reading, writing, speaking, for everything. Okay, so join me at Light Hall. And again, students, aehelp.com, gieltshelp.com for all of your IELTS needs. Find us there. You can use the code 9FORME for a 10% discount. I'm Adrian. I'm signing out from beautiful Victoria for now, and I hope to see you all in Light Hall tomorrow at around this time. Bye for now.